Hello and welcome to the new normal. I'm Rick Anthony with my guest, Jake Abel, Commissioner of the 6th Ward in Radnor Township, joined together by the wonders of Zoom for this episode of Commissioner's Corner, a series produced here at MLTV to help keep Radnor residents informed of local government and the effect of normal government on the quality of life in Radnor. Jake, nice to see you, even though it's virtual.
Hey, Rick, thanks for having me.
Why don't we get started? You're fuzzy-faced. You're taking advantage of not being able to shave.
Yeah, right.
And I've never seen you with so much hair, come to think of it.
I haven't had a haircut in several weeks, so that'll be the first on the list when we start to get back to normal.
Yeah. My wife has threatened to cut my hair. I won't let her. It's never going to happen. What's going on with the appointment of the new township manager?
Well, let me just say, so last Monday at one of our Zoom meetings, we did, we've had an acting township manager, Bill White, for the last several weeks, and we've made that a decision to make him permanent. And I have full confidence in Bill. I've worked with Bill over the last 2 years as a commissioner when he was the finance director, and he's done a great job in that role. And I have no reason not to believe he won't continue that success in this new role that he's taken on. And he's been the acting manager since this started, and he's done a great job. So the board made the decision that we would just remove that temporary, the acting from his title and make him the permanent township manager. I did, while I supported the vote to make him the permanent township manager, I don't think it was the right. The timing wasn't right for me, and I would have preferred that we waited until this was over and that we could be back in the township building and done it the right way, where we ran a process, interviewed those interested in the position. And as a board, I would have liked to have the opportunity to ask questions just to get an understanding of Bill's managerial style, some of the things that were some of the goals he has over the next 12 to 18 months, and then run it from there.
Jake, that's good management process. Why would the board object to that? What was the hurry?
Well, I think the decision was that we don't know how long this is going to go on for, and then when we come up, and I'm speaking for the majority on this, just based on the conversations we had on Monday night. So we don't know how long that we're going to be in this situation where we're meeting by Zoom and virtual platforms, and then once we got back to a normal state and ran a process, we'd be looking at anywhere between 3 and 5 months to run that process. So I took away from the explanation on Monday night that the board didn't want to wait into go into 2021 with an acting manager.
Right. Again, I don't see the harm of that. He is competent, as you said. He knows how to get the job done.
I think one of the problems
was there more to it?
Again, I'm just going based on the explanation that was given Monday night. I think it's gonna, when you run a process like this and try to fill a vacancy, some of the things that you want to do or have some of the contractual issues out of the way.
Another issue that was somewhat related, I guess, and that was the vote that they took on the mound at 476 to landscape it, and the controversy that preceded that vote. What was that all about?
Well, as everyone who drives through Radnor Township has seen, we have an area coming off 476 that has been clear cut, and it's been an issue that we've discussed as a board the last couple months. On Monday night, we talked about a plan to, a phase to reseed the area, which I support. I voted against the resolution, though, because part of that plan talks about taking a donation from an anonymous donor, and I don't believe it's the position. We should be in the position as a township to be accepting gifts from anonymous donors. I held that same position when we had the discussion on the Willows, and we had the donor who gave $1 million. I believe that at least the board should be aware of who the donor is, just so we're doing our due diligence and don't foresee any issues down the road. I appreciate all donors who come forth and are willing to make donations to the township. I just think that we should know where the money's coming from.
Is it the board not aware of who the anonymous donor is?
Well, I can say that I don't know who the donor is. I don't know if others on the board are aware, but if they are, I think the full board should be aware of who the person is.
Is the township manager aware of who the donor is?
Again, I'm not. I don't know that. I will continue to ask that the board at least be aware, and hopefully, at some point here in the near future, we will know where all donations are coming from.
Do we know how much the donation is?
Well, there's no monetary amount. So the donor is providing the seed for the area. And I don't know how you equate that in monetary numbers.
Yeah. Okay. What's the schedule for that project?
So I think we have to do it in the near term. I think that, and I'm not an arborist, but I think we have to do that relatively quickly just to get it down before the season starts.
Can that be done during the pandemic? Do we have the staff to do it?
That's a good question. I don't know that the staff would be doing it. I believe the services are also being donated by a local company.
Interesting. Well, a fix would be nice. The circumstances, again, like so many things, have a cloud over it. Speaking of the pandemic, are you satisfied with the township's response to the need with regard to business shutdowns and just shutting down most of the community?
Yeah, these are uncertain times, and I haven't gone through this before. I don't think anybody on the staff has gone through this before. So I do appreciate all the work they're doing. I think they're doing a great job. And I think we all have our own opinions. Take the parks, for example. I wanted to move quicker than most on closing the parks just because I believe that schools were already closed, restaurants were closed. We shouldn't be having children playing in the same area, climbing on the same equipment that others have just climbed on, and that type of equipment's tough to wash and clean. So I thought it was important that the parks be closed down immediately, and we finally got to that point. So I'm happy and I'm satisfied with the work that our emergency team is doing. And at the end of the day, we're all I think all of our top priority is the safety of the community, and it's important that we just continue to have those discussions as a township and as a board, so that all of our voices are being heard.
Is there a plan for the eventual opening of the township's economy?
Well, the emergency team meets every day, and they continue to have those discussions. And they're also taking direction from the state and from the governor. So, we're still, I think the governor's plan still has us being closed through the end of the month.
Yes.
I think the township emergency staff is weighing those conversations with, in aligning with the Wayne Business Association and others, just to make sure that we're ready to go when we are able to open up and it's safe for the community to be more active again.
So you don't anticipate, as has been the case in other parts of the country, that we'll have protests in Wayne pushing for the reopening of at least the Wayne Business District?
No, I don't think we'll see protests. I think, as a commissioner, I get emails from residents asking for the timing and offering the opinions that their families have. And I appreciate that. I want to hear from everybody, because it's those comments that I take into account when I form my positions and my decisions. And I know the township's receiving emails, but again, I think the township's doing a great job, and I'll continue to let them know what I see and what I think, and hopefully we can, when it's right to open up, we'll open up as soon as possible.
You and your family have had your own project. I think it's the collection of non-perishable goods for first responders. Tell us about that, and how responsive has the community been?
Yeah, so I saw, a couple of weeks ago, there was a social media post that the Radnor Fire Company was looking for donations. in anticipation that we would see a peak over the next couple of weeks. And, they've got staff that are staying in the firehouse around the clock, and anything that we could do to support would be appreciated. I've made friends with a lot of the folks in the fire company over the last couple of years, and I've worked around first responders for the last 15 years, and have the utmost respect for the work they do and for the benefits they provide our community. So this is, it's just a small thing that we can do to help them out during this time. And so we put a wagon out in our front yard, and the boys were involved in it and put a picture out there asking for donations. And the neighborhood and the community have responded. So over the last 2 weeks, I've dropped off 5 bags of groceries for the fire company, which may not seem like a lot, but over 2 weeks,
it's the gesture as well.
Yeah, it shows that the community really appreciates everything that the fire company does for us, and that wagon will stay out in the yard until this emergency declaration is over. And in addition to non-perishable items, if people want to drop off masks or other items, gift cards, I'll take those over to the fire company as well.
Very nice.
And those are definitely appreciated and will go to good use.
That's terrific. One last item, the county reassessment. What's the status? We got a notice that our valuation had been increased, but I'm not quite sure what that means.
So while all this,
I'm afraid of what that means.
So while we're all in our house, probably a week before the lockdown started, the neighbors started to receive the reassessment notices, and my inbox blew up with emails. People were seeing their reassessments doubling, sometimes tripling in number, and I just wanted to reassure them that you're seeing your reassessment go up, that doesn't mean your property taxes are going up. And what we have to wait for now is for the overall reassessment of the township. Remember, this process is revenue neutral. So once we get, and I anticipate, we're probably still weeks away from getting that number. Once we get the overall assessment of the township, then you can recalculate the millage, and from the new millage number, then you'll be able to recalculate your property taxes.
Yeah, and I took that to mean revenue neutral for the first year. What happens after that is anybody's guess. Right.
So the first year, and then it would be, and then it's it's really based on what the township, if we increase the millage fee, and then
precisely right. And the township, as like everybody else, has got to be hurting in terms of revenue right now.
I think everybody's anticipating we'll see lower revenue at least going into at least for this year, and probably we'll probably see some effect next year.
Yeah. These are weird times, just absolutely weird times.
It's important too. I'll say, when we are able to reopen and the Wayne Business District is back for business, I encourage all Radnor residents and even in surrounding communities to come out and shop local. And as a board, hopefully we'll be looking at different ways that we can market, advertise, and help the small businesses out.
Now, maybe this is the incentive that's needed to fix the parking problem.
Well, and that's one thing that I've already talked about on social media and with the township. And when we're able to get back as a board, we'll have these discussions. At least for I would like to find periods of time. So maybe the first weekend of every month, we take away. We don't enforce the parking, and we allow residents and
great idea
wants to come shop in the township just to come out and park for free.
Great idea. Okay, well, the pandemic may have slowed things down in other parts of our reality, but certainly not at Radnor Township and the board level. You've been very busy.
Yeah, it stays busy. We'll continue to meet every 2 weeks, even if it's by Zoom. And then I'm continuing with some of the projects that I will hopefully will be ready to go when we come back and meet as a board in the township building. 2 of the main ones that I'm still working on, and I think we're getting closer to seeing the plans, are the Morse Road tree rescaping and the West Wayne Preserve stormwater project. Those are the two big ones for the 6th Ward. And I think we're getting closer to seeing those plans.
Well, thanks for taking the time. Again, this has been another episode of Commissioner's Corner featuring Commissioner Jake Abel of the 6th Ward. Thank you. And
Thanks,
above
Rick.
all, be safe.